next silent retreat that will be held on the internet. So you have to vow that you'll stay silent, and then hit, and then you can.
That's $900.
That's pretty good. That's right. I'm telling you, you can get away with murder. Yeah. All right, so there's some people that weren't here before. You didn't miss anything. It's not like the final chapter is the ending is in the final chapter. But if have you heard ZenBitchSlap.com? No? Just all new. So I'll just talk to you about the topic. The premise or the possibility is that we may be living our life from a false reference. Yeah? In other words, we may be looking at life from a manufactured state. Sort of like seeing life through a pair of glasses, but calling them our eyes. So never checking out, yeah? Just assuming this is the way I see. And then a lot of us, because that seeing can seem distorted, we get in the business of looking for some glasses to correct that distortion, which would be like spirituality, yeah? So you attempt to get to, if you can only correct the glasses, but in fact, if you just put your hand up there and saw that the original distortion weren't your eyes, that they were glasses, what possibility would come up? You could take them off, yeah? This is the whole thing. It's the whole message, really. It's a flavor. It has nothing to do with specifics. It's not something you can take notes on. No, people take notes or understand. Understanding intellectually could be helpful, may not be, but it's a feeling. Something may be said, and there'll be a feeling of an aha or something like that, or your head like a dog will go like this, what's going on? And then maybe it's sort of like coming into a shoe store, yeah? And you have an idea of what kind of shoes you may need when it comes to spirituality, like hiking boots, because you know it's going to be a long journey, could take lifetimes, all like this. But we're just gonna bring certain shoes, certain statements out of what they call spirituality, and if the shoe fits, wear it, basically. That's it. So if it resonates something in you, let it go. Let's see what happens. It doesn't have to be thought about, it just has to be entertained, yeah? So don't rush in, because rush in to think about something is like taking a fire hose and just fucking putting it out. The idea gets neutered as soon, or can be as soon as it's thought about. So this is a simple invitation. If you're happy and everything's going well, then you're at probably the wrong place. Yeah. But usually people come here. We don't draft people, or don't demand them come. It's basically people come here maybe because they're not feeling just right, or something is nagging, or they feel like the thoughts are overpowering them, or feelings get the best of them, and they're prone to do stupid things and then have to deal with the consequences. You're not going to get any help for that, really. You're not going to get any help for that. You're going to get really nothing, yeah, and then see what happens. So the idea how it came with me was I practiced a lot of spirituality when I was younger, and I thought I gave it a pretty good shot. I didn't have a great resume, but I went to retreats in Thailand, and I was in India. I sat at the feet of a couple of masters and stuff like that. But after all was said and done, nothing actually radically changed, yeah? And I finally saw that the format that I was living under was off. I was trying to get out of me, but as me, yeah? I was hoping to escape me, but I would be there to enjoy it, yeah? And this is in recovery, we talk about it as self can't get out of self. So there's no way in hell self is going to get out of self, yeah? And there's no way in hell the Buddha is ever going to find the Buddha. So if you are the Buddha, aka Steve or Bill or Sue, and you're not awake to or aware of that, then maybe you'll start looking for the Buddha as Steve through Buddhism. And it will make perfect sense, because obviously you don't have the qualities of the Buddha, but you feel like maybe I can acquire those qualities by practicing Buddhism. So I'm going to practice Buddhism, and I'm going to try to acquire the qualities of the Buddha so that I can live a better life. It makes total sense. But it doesn't if you're the Buddha. Yeah? If you're the Buddha, it doesn't make any sense at all. Because why would the Buddha practice Buddhism to acquire the qualities it already has? Yeah? It would be insane. So this is the message. I believe we're all, most of us, I don't know where you're at, but as a generality, most of us are living life from a false reference. And we're not even living life anymore. We're living an interpretation of life. So the dominant factor is the thought system and the narration up there and its interpretation and its forecasting. And basically, life is happening, can usually only be produced by like doing a huge fucking jumping off a bridge with a bungee cord, or having fucking 12-hour sex, or which wouldn't be that bad, or riding waves, or holding your breath for 5 minutes, somehow trying to fucking get a whack that you're alive, yeah? But basically, because most of us are living an interpretation of life's happening to me, yeah? And that view is very, very myopic, and if you're looking through that view, you're missing out on a lot. So for the people that were new here, like here, I'll give you just try to say it the simplest way. And bear with me for the people who've heard it already. So, the idea of the glove in the hand is pretty good, yeah? So let's say there's a world that we're living in, and the only sense of that world is touching, yeah? You can't see, hear, feel, taste, or smell, but you can touch. Everything is touch. So in this world of touch, there's a scripture about the heaven of this world, and the heaven of this world would be falling into a giant, giant vat of rose petals, yeah? The softest feeling constantly going all over you. And that would be like nirvana or enlightenment or satori, whatever. And there you go. And so you're living in this world of sense, but without knowing it, the hand that's inside the glove is now taking itself to be the glove, yeah? So now the glove is interpreting everything the hand meets in this world. So everything the hand touches feels rough because the glove is rough. Everything, yeah? It could be a rough thing, it could be a soft thing, it doesn't matter, because the largest part of the translation isn't what you're touching, it's what's touching it. So the glove is defining the interpretation. So now the hand is the animating property. It's actually what's initiating the feeling, but it's being translated through the glove. And in this sense, the hand is identified as the glove, so it can never entertain it's pulling itself out. The only way it can entertain getting out of the glove is as a glove, yeah? Which is the dilemma of spiritual practice. The glove can't get out of the glove, yeah? What needs to occur is maybe entertain the possibility that you're not the glove. As soon as the hand entertains the possibility it may not be the glove, what possibility is available? I can pull my hand out of it, yeah? Is it going to be like incredibly painful? Has the hand turned into the glove? It's been in there 30 years. It should be fucking glove-like by now. But no, the fact is the hand comes out of the glove, and then the hand sees from the hand's point of view the glove. Instead of looking for the hand from the glove's point of view, which is where the fuck's the hand? Yeah? Because the glove is thinking it's the hand. So it's looking everywhere, feeling everything, buying tons of crazy fucking ideas. You know what I mean? All right, stand on your glove for 20 hours or whatever, or bow down incessantly to a picture of a hand as a glove, whatever it may be. But it can go on incredibly insane, lengths, yeah? But the point is just see you're not the glove. Because the dilemma is, you may hear about the hand, yeah, but you're hearing it from the glove. The glove is interpreting the message. So a hand shows up in the world of gloves and says, hey, has a meeting, and he goes, hey, you're a hand. And you would think it would be pretty good, suddenly they'd all come out. But the problem is, the hand identified with the glove, here's the message, you're a hand, as a glove. So the glove goes, where? Where's the hand? Or I can become like a hand. So now the glove enters a program to become like a hand, and there's this one fucking glove that's saying it was gloveless at one time. You may be seeing me as a glove, but I am a hand. And you start paying money to see this glove talk about what it would be like not to be a glove, but as a glove. Yeah? This is the whole point. So if you see, you're not the glove. That's where all the information has to be targeted. You don't want to hear about what you are incessantly, even though the descriptions can be quite beautiful, because what's hearing it is the glove. It doesn't go anywhere. That's why the message is, there's no one and there's no body, but a body's hearing that, and a seeming someone's hearing it. That's the confusing part. So now the seeming someone hears there's no someone, and it's quite fucking confusing, because to the point where the someone now tries to be a no one, but as a someone. Yeah? And then you go to 800 meetings to hear that you're no one as a someone. You're hearing it as a someone. You are. You're never hearing it as the no one. If you did, you'd never go back. It would just be that. It would be that simple. Yeah? But the problem is, the glove, the identification with the glove is so stubborn that you can only think about getting out of the glove as a glove. That's why you never get out. Yeah? So all the plans to escape the glove are plans that the glove hatches up to keep you in the glove. But as soon as you start seeing you're not that, just see, look at the difference between a thought and my thought. So a thought. Okay, thought comes and goes. Could be a good thought, may not be. It comes and goes. It doesn't leave much of a residue usually. It just moves on. Tons of them move through. But then a thought, noticed in a certain way, and then there's a claiming of the thought of that it's mine, or it's about you, sort of puts it in an orbit, yeah? So the thought gets like, the thought's coming and going, but suddenly it's going around this idea that you're the thinker, right? And let's say only 7,000 thoughts are being noted in your day. Some people say there's 70,000, but let's say 7,000 thoughts. So each thought is sort of caught with the mind, and then is put in an orbit around this idea. There's no one there, but the thoughts start going like this. Each thought, another one. So now there's 7,000 thoughts that are just going around some space, but they're all pointing into the space. And suddenly, us picture ourselves as a body. And there you go. Now suddenly, I'm the thinker of all those thoughts. The thoughts are all mine. Yeah? And then all the feelings, the same thing. Feelings coming, going, coming, going. The claiming of the feeler is used to imply, the claiming of the feeling is used to imply the feeler. And most people think there's a feeler before feeling. But the feeling being claimed is what's used to imply the feeler. When you watch babies, they don't have any sense of being the feeler. They're feeling like fucking crazy. They're shitting in their pants. They don't even know it. A lot of shit's going on through them without any acknowledgement, yeah? So there's feeling, and there's probably thoughts, yeah? And they're doing actions, but they're not, the mental states isn't developed enough to use the thought to imply the thinker yet, or to use the feelings to imply the feeler, or to use the actions. Have you ever seen a very guilty baby between a year and a half? Oh, I shit in my pants. No, they're just fucking shitting, and they have no conscience of it, they're just pissing everywhere. It doesn't matter. I saw this kid, my friend's kid, was so big. He was really a heavy kid, and he had the diapers on, and he never crawled. He would just move like this, and he had taken a poop. And when he moved, his ass hit it, and it shot up from the back like a geyser. Like an orange geyser for about 3 feet. He had no idea. It was just like, shut up. None whatsoever. He didn't go in his room, oh man, I really fucked up. They're not going to give me the breast tonight. I really did it. I put my foot in it. It doesn't even know it has a foot yet. Yeah. So, this activity of claiming it doesn't even come with the package you call you. You've got a couple of years of complete evidence that the actions were not implying an actor. We grow into a mental state, and then the actions are claimed by the mental state to imply the actor. And then suddenly, now you think you've done all the actions that come after the actor, but it doesn't come after the actor, it's before the actor. It's the actions that give the mental state the possibility to say you're an actor. Same thing with thoughts and feelings, and very few people are seeing it. They're just assuming they're this and they're assuming they're that, and then the shit that happens with that little assumption just geometrically progresses. Yeah. So you really know the problem from the solution. When you get relief, it may allow the space to inform you why you didn't have relief, basically. That's the information. It's almost like reverse engineering. You get relief, and it tells you why it didn't seem to be available. And you're in all the pictures. You're a big freaking head, all of them. All the movies you wanted to see, and that big head was blocking, it was your head, really. So, in this view, something suddenly connects or is corrected. Because a lot of people are wanting to be free, they want to be at peace, they want to have relief, but they're trying to be free as from the source of the anxiety. They're trying to get relief from that which cannot be relieved. Yeah? It's just a mistake. That's all it is. When it's corrected, you'll know. And when it's corrected, really the other shit never actually ever happened. You were never, in a sense, the hand has never been the glove. It only appeared to be the glove. The hand was completely the hand, all the while it was seemingly masquerading as a glove. The masquerading of the glove cannot tattoo gloveness on the hand. Yeah? As soon as the hand entertains, hey, I'm not the glove, it can pull out. Now, does it mean it stays out? It can go back in, but now it's not fooled. Yeah? Yeah. It's like we used another example, and I'm just going to use it today. Some people weren't here. When I was about 12, I used to, you start wanting to meet girls and stuff like that, and had my hair growing. I thought I looked pretty cool. I had these red jeans and this gray long sleeve t-shirt, and I would wear it and go to the mall, take a bus and go to this mall, and I'd just look at my reflection in all the store windows, and I noticed some people were checking me out. I figured, this is working. So every week I'd pull out the same outfit, take that bus and go to the mall, strut around, and garnering a lot of attention. So after about a month or two, a friend of mine says, Paul, you know that short shirt you're always talking about? I said, oh yeah, that gray one? He says, it's pink, bro. And he goes, you know those red jeans? I said, yeah, I love them. He said, they're magenta. So as soon as he tells me they're pink and magenta, I see them as pink and magenta. Now, I had been seeing them for months as gray and red, and I would have swore they were gray and red. But as soon as the correction was pointed out to me, I saw them as pink and magenta. Now, I've never seen them again as gray and red. I didn't go back into my closet 3 months later. I found a little bit of pink and gray in there. No, that was that. That's what the message is like. It's just simple. A misassumption gets corrected. Now you gotten rebooted, and just find out what happens. Maybe you'll want to practice shit. Maybe you won't. Who knows? But at least the starting point will be the starting point. Not square 4, but you'll be on square 0. And then the Monopoly game makes sense. Yeah? You may see your role as the boot isn't that important. That there's thousands of boots. I don't know what will happen. And that's why this talk for me, maybe I'm also probably pretty lazy, but we always stay on an introductory level, because it's all on you. You're served the invitation and then see what happens. Yeah. I don't think you need to have a sit down for 30 days, and browbeat you into it. Here's a possibility. I believe it already got in because I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to mind, and mind is here. Just because you think you're here doesn't mean mind isn't. Mind is here, and I've realized a long time ago, I do not waste any time talking to you about mind or awareness. I talk to awareness about you. Because when awareness goes, hey, I may not be that, really, that's that. Yeah? The tide has turned, and sooner or later, enough percentage of the attention and interest that's going up that ass of self all day, to be preoccupied with you as a yesterday and a tomorrow, gets relieved and gets dispersed now. Yeah? And to me, it will enrich your day instead of enslave your day to yesterday and tomorrow. It's that simple. It's just a readjustment or a like recalibrating or a redistribution. There's no less or more. It's just the where it's going. It's being misdirected or mostly directed up into the mental state. And the mental state isn't about now. The mental state's happening now, but it's about time. Yeah. It's concerned about what you were and what you're gonna be, not so much how it is right now. And if you want that as your theme setter, it will. I found it very early. I would feel great, and then I'd get suspicious, like, when are they going to find out I don't deserve this? In like 8 minutes, maybe, 10 minutes, or she's going to realize I'm an asshole, on my first date. Shit like that. But the same head, if it had a thought that, oh, I'm starting to feel bad, it would jump into a lifelong depression, Why would I want that thing to run my day every day? It shortens or contracts anything that looks possibly expansive and elongates anything that seems quite depressing. All day. Why would I want to live on? It's like an accordion that only hits one note. You're hoping it just goes, and then when it's good, it's real fast, and then bad, and then it's like, there are other possibilities. There's modalities of mind because you're getting download. Your center isn't here. Your center's here. Yeah. And there's lots of information and a lot of energy happening. And there are other modalities or other formats of mind than self-centeredness. You can live. See, self-centeredness has to start after thought because all the thoughts are about you and the thoughts are used to reinforce the idea of you. But what you are starts before thought. You can live from there. It's not difficult. And then those experiences of having intuition become more. Yeah, you live a life of a lot of coincidences and synchronicities, and you sense a grace, and you feel really, truly that you're led instead of leading. That you're directed instead of directing. That you're changed instead of trying to change so much. You submit yourself to this possibility, and the action figure gets put to use. And it's beneficial. It's a win-win type of thing. It's not win-lose. It's a very inclusive view. It's win-win. Yeah. So I feel many of us, and I hate that word, but disempowered, because what we're calling mind is mental process. What mind is, or awareness, or being is incredibly worth a lot of fucking faith. Yeah. The mental state isn't, and yet most of our lives, watch people with these GPSs, yeah. There's a lady I did a talk in a rural area in Massachusetts, in America, and we got there pretty late, near Walden Pond. It's pretty famous, Henry Thoreau. And we got there pretty late, and there was a railroad crossing, and there was a hubbub. There was all these cars, and the lights were going on, and there was a policeman there. There was a stop sign, so we pulled up to the stop sign like 11:30 at night, and we go, and the officer's walking around. I go, "Officer, what's happening?" And he goes, "Oh, a lady was following her GPS. It told her to turn right on the railroad tracks. Even though she was feeling the fucking railroad tracks, she kept driving because she had fucking faith in the GPS. Even totally against her experience. The thing's going choo, 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 and she just kept going. So she went so far up the tracks, they gotta have one of those special fucking things to pull her off, you know, the thing that you go on track. She went about 15 yards down. You would think you would have heard boom, 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 boom. But no, the GPS said, and it's probably saying, you're 100 feet from your destination. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, this is what's happening in people's heads. The narration is that person's out to get you. Ooh, you know, you're a loser. You'll never be loved. Of course you're going to fucking feel bad if you believe you're never going to be loved. Yeah? You look just fine to me, but I'm never going to be loved. I didn't see where did that virus come in? You know? Because it's coming from what's not happening. I mean, we believe shit that's unbelievable. You know? So, and you're not going to get out of it as it. You're not. No way. This is the dilemma. This is like the greatest heist, because when you want to get out of it, when it does seem a little bit intolerable, it has you locked in because you're going to try to get out of the system as a product of the system. Good luck. Yeah. And so when this hit me, I don't know how many years ago it was like an unspoken yes. It was like knowing before knowing. And now, I've just been entertaining it ever since. And it's not like Paul's sitting entertaining it. Paul is Pauling. There's a lot of Pauling going on. But let's say behind the scenes, mind is entertaining it. Mind isn't completely looking through the story of Paul, because it's lost a lot of interest in the story of Paul. And it's quite boring, the story of Paul. So now it has a little funneling in, but the other direction is infinity. And it's just entertaining. Just yeah, all day. And over years, it's produced a traveling lighter for the action figure that the action figure could never come up with, to tell you the truth. Because the action figure trying to get lighter is heavy. You see? When the action figure wants to get lighter, it gets heavy about getting lighter. Like, people get really fucking serious. I remember I had a girlfriend and I got serious with my spiritual program. My girlfriend would be coming up to me just loving me. I say, not now. I've got to practice. And there's all this love. No, I'm busy. This is fucking insane. The invitation comes right at you. No, I'm going towards my goal. Yeah, but I'd be there if I got there. That's the dilemma. So whatever goal it is, as soon as I arrive and I'm there, I have to make another goal, because you're really trying to get out of you. Yeah? My feeling. So it's crazy, really. So you can't, it's like this statement in recovery captures it a lot. It says you got to quit playing God. And so if you don't believe the head's playing God, just look at it. If you wake up in the morning and it tells you how the day's going to be, what's that but playing God? If you wake up and it tells you you're never going to be loved, you know you're a loser, you might as well just fucking can it, what's that but playing God? Yeah? What is it? You've got to recognize it. So it says, all right, you got to quit playing God. But what happens if the first thing that receives or claims that message is that which is playing God? So that which is playing God hears the message, like at a meeting like this. You got to quit playing God. So now that which is playing God tries to quit playing God. That's playing God ad infinitum. How are you going to get out of it? Oops, you're like stuck. All right. I gotta stop. I gotta quit playing God. But as soon as I make a move to quit playing God, that's God playing. So there's no way out. The out is realizing you're not in. You are not that which is playing God. That's how you quit playing God. You're not that which is playing God. You see that which is playing God as not you. That's how you quit playing God. The whole thing is identification. That's what's happening. That which cannot be identified seems to be identified with a thing or an idea that gets hung on a thing, whatever you want to call it. But there's an act of being identified as what you're not. That's it. And then the weird thing is, it can go to such an extreme that you will look for yourself as a conceptual ideal, like the truth, or this one, it really gets me. I'm going to go out and find my authentic self. Good luck. There isn't fucking ever a authentic self. They're all counterfeit. Yeah? So there's no authentic self you're going to find. Yeah? So, I'm going to find my authentic self. Good luck. Yeah? So you can't...
But does the penny drop and then without, is it an accident? Is it an accident when you discover this thing, this problem?
I'd say grace. But why not just want the penny drop now? Because we won't entertain that possibility because we think there's a lot of shit that's going on in now. And therefore that has to be thing. It's always available at all times with no requirement necessary to meet it, except for the ones you've made up. See, if you can let go of the old ideas or just see them as not yours, the old ideas are what's setting up requirements to arrive at where you already are. That's why they make these cryptic statements in spirituality, the gateless gate. What would that be? In other words, there's no gate. There's no gate, there's no toll. Or the open secret. How could there be a secret that's open? Exactly. Yeah? The seeker is the sought. What's looking is what you're looking for. They say all these weird things because it's right underneath our nose. We are what we're looking for. What? Not as who, but what. See? St. Francis said it. What's looking is what you're looking for. He didn't say who's looking is what you're looking for. What's looking is what you're looking for. He did not say what's looking and then 50 pages of requirements that you have to meet to be the you that you're looking for. What's looking is what you're looking for. Simple. Right now. Yeah? It's so there, if you attempt to find it, you believe you've lost it because you can't find what already is. You can't lose what already is. There's a famous story. I'm going to butcher it up, but I'm going to say it anyway because, when last year I flew here through Ryanair, and I was concerned about, they have those weight limitations. So I was going to bring this book. Instead of bringing the book, I ripped out 4 pages. Some Ramana Maharshi in my packet, and I've lost them, so I can't remember the story. All right, that's it. So here's the story about a woman with a necklace, a famous one. Yeah, so a woman has this beautiful necklace, and then the woman seems to lose the necklace. Seeming is the primary word. Seeming means it appears to be true or false to you. In English, seeming. Seeming means, it seems like it's okay, but it really may not be okay. So it appears to be true or false for you. So this lady loses a necklace, and she really bums her out. So she's talking to her friends, and she asked them to join her to start looking for the necklace. So now they start looking for the necklace, and one of them has heard that there's this person who had lost a necklace once and had found it. So they start going to the meetings, and the person says they found a necklace, and they're all... and he tells you, okay, this is what you have to do. First of all, you got to see me every week. You have to do this, and then you'll get to the point where you'll be able to find the necklace. And so they go on like this, and then someone comes in and says, hey, it's on your neck. So she feels it, and she finds the necklace. That's her experience. Her experience is she found it. But did she find it? Because it was never lost. Yeah. Though, this is the weird thing, when she thought it was lost, she was really bummed out. And then when she thought she found it, she was really happy. But in fact, she didn't lose it or find it. Yeah? That's it. That's the situation. That which is. Nothing has changed it. See, the self would like to believe it has the power to exile you from what is. It doesn't. The self would like to believe that things that have happened through this action figure can turn into sin and you'll never be relieved of them. And that sin will be strong enough to exile you from that, which is. It has a lot of stories. Basically, it's trying to prove relevance. It wants, by having the relevance or the power to fuck things up, it gets a sense of being real. Yeah? It has none. It's like the sky. There's clouds all the time in the Irish sky. The cloud never becomes the sky, does it? And which cloud can sustain itself in the sky? You don't see like a cloud that looked like a dog a week ago and still see it every day, yeah, in the little left-hand corner of the sky. And then when there's rain, does the sky get wet? No, this gets wet. When a plane flying around up there, did you ever hear an incident where the captain called the tower and said, I ran into a big chunk of sky? Yeah, you could have, where in America we have these 4th of July explosions, fireworks. You can have them 365 days in a year. They won't rip the sky open. That's what MIND, what we are, is like. It's untouchable. Whatever's appearing in it never leaves a fucking mark. When you go to sleep at night and you get to the point of deep sleep, is there a gate there? Is there something that goes over the day? You fucked up today. No interest for you. No. The fucking worst person in the world and the best person in the world both fall asleep. The solution, or what I am of and what you are of, is not of time, not of things, not of distance, not of effects. This message has a great effect because acceptance where it's most needed and can never be found arises, and that's in you. This finally is accepted, not because you've come to love it as you, but you've seen that it isn't. And in seeing that it isn't, all the preoccupation with it, all the old offenses that you believed it did, or this and that, it lifts like a weather front, yeah? And that weather front lifts and there's some space there. And you may be able to learn that you have the ability to receive and give love. You may be, and go against all these ideas you've been carrying around for 60, 50, 40 years, yeah? It's not the idea that has the power, it's the clenching of it, yes? The clenching of the idea. And that's the mind, believing it's yours.
What do you mean with the clenching?
The clenching, the identification of that idea of being a loser, or being unloved, or or being abandoned. Yeah. I'm going to use this for all my talks now. Like those shows with the laugh track? That's my laugh track. It's going to be great. And then one, I'm just going to have it the whole thing. No saying, just that. I used to do a lot of that when I first, this hit me. Because it's hilarious. It really is. It's really hilarious when it dawns on you. You know how much effort goes into not being you? It's a lot of effort. A real lot. I mean, you gotta fucking corral all those thoughts, brand them with my, lasso every feeling, brand them with my. You know what I mean? And every action, fucking take it like a tattoo, an ink tattoo. Oh, it's fucking a lot of work. Yeah.
And you don't like that.
What?
And you don't like that, I said.
What?
It's a lot of work, you said, and you don't like that.
No. I don't mind work where it's applied. Work to this doesn't work for me. Doesn't. If you look at conscious contact, which is seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching, it's the basis of living here, yeah? Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. It's not demonstrating any thought or effort to see, hear, feel, taste, touch, does it? And it's very difficult to spin a story that you're doing it. Because does it look like you're doing the seeing? You know what I mean? Like flexing like this. I can say I'm doing this, but seeing, you know what I mean? And there's why would you expect thought or effort would arrive at that which shows no thought or effort? I think it's insane. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah? And there's no volition. If your eyes are open and they're working and you're looking in one direction, you're going to see what shows up there. You may have taken a vow not to see a bird, but if you're looking out the window, a bird may fly by, you see the bird. And watch when people have feelings they don't like, they go, I didn't want to feel that. You see? It's very telling, because the idea of you came after the feeling. There's no escaping the sensation being noted, yeah? The conscious contact notes the sensation. Then the mental state arises and claims to be the one who felt it, and then tons of opinions. It's once that little seed is planted, shit grows. Opinions, yes and no, close and far, desire, aversion, all this flowers from that one claiming. The one claiming of the feeling creates the feeling like a field, and a lot of fucking crops are grown out of it. Yeah? A lot of maybe guilt, a lot of shame, embarrassment, pride, whatever. Tons of stuff from that imaginary seed of ownership. Yeah? It's happening all day underneath our feet. Nothing right or wrong with it, man, but didn't you ever have a bug that you wanted, like if you were getting fucked, you wanted to know you were getting fucked? Didn't you? I don't know. I didn't want to just get anonymously fucked. I want to know what's happening here. What's going on? Well, what's going on is an act of being identified as a self in the mental realms. And our attention, because it presents it as us, we've gotten absorbed somewhat because we cherish this little manufactured me that the mental state's doing. The system cherishes its little creation. It's not a creation, it makes it, yeah. That's why it's so difficult, because you don't want to. You want to be it. Yeah. You want to be a better version of it. You want to maybe be somewhere else than where you are, but it is a pretty, you're into it, you know. So this is a beautiful invitation. Like it or not, you've been served. Yeah, you don't have to know it, because I've seen it. I've seen thousands of talks, you know. And I have total faith in mind. A lot of our friends at home, they've been entertaining this, and they are like spiritual pros. They were with everybody. They've been entertaining the ideas for a few years, and they're all traveling lighter with whatever life has in store for them. And a lot of them come to the conclusion, what more do you want, really? If you had a sense of contentment now and satisfaction, a lot of your seeming drives for noble causes would be stopped, because really, if you just had that, I don't think you would misname it as enlightenment or awakening. You would just enjoy this space. Yeah? Yeah. So, any questions? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to describe the talk I was going to say to my husband yesterday. And I was in this non-dual thing, the non-binary. And when you speak, you know, it speaks to the truth in me, and I respond. But I can't explain this to anybody. Because, I mean, maybe I'm just trying to learn, I don't know. I mean, how do you explain your talks to people?
If they pay me. That's how I do it. No, I don't try to explain, only in this settings, you know?
Okay.
Or if someone asks me, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What I don't see, the message is, this is really about duality. There's no non-duality meetings. Tell me where they'd be. There's none. It's about duality. So by learning about duality, you may realize it's not so, which is the statement of non-duality. It means not two. So as soon as you get to not, basically, as soon as you see not two, yeah, you don't pivot and then look for the one. From that point on, you'll start finding out, yeah? Because the initial shadow that gets formed by this, not seeing this heist or identification, is what follows you everywhere else, yeah? By seeing that, then you find out about what's happening. You'll find out about what your seed assignment is. You'll find out, yeah? And you'll find out not about non-duality, but you'll find out more and more about duality, yeah? And you'll see the problem from the solution. And the solution is that the problem is an activity, the solution is entertaining. So there's no need for even a solution, yeah? That's the beauty of it. So then you're just left with what is, as you've always been. But you're a lot lighter. A lot of the conceptual baggage and all your plans for future journeys, all those get canceled, yeah? And then the attention and interest, instead of being enslaved to the preoccupation, because something that isn't so needs to live by reflection, yeah? So the I am, they use this a lot in spiritual things. The I am is that sense of onness, you know, and no one can deny their on, you know, I am. But the mental state mimics the I am, and how it does it is it remembers us in the past as a body. So it goes, I was, and it remembers us by worrying about us as a body in the future. So I will be, and then it comes to its I am by, therefore I am now. See? So I was Paul, I will be Paul, therefore I am Paul. It doesn't have its own I am to stand on. It has to make it up. So it makes up time, goes in the past, you're seeing all day back there, and all the days in the past, you're pictured as a body. Yeah? Then when you're worrying about you as a body in the future. So there, you and the body become synonymous, so you are the body. You're the body in the past, you're going to be a body in the future, therefore you're a body now. Yeah? You would not come with you're a body now. You come up with the idea you're a body now by occupation in past and future. Just like you wouldn't come up with being the thinker without thoughts, obviously. The thoughts are used to imply the thinker. The thinker isn't having thoughts. The thoughts are used to imply the thinker. We have it asked backwards. It's not happening the way we think. The mental state arises after the conscious contact, yet as soon as it arises and presents its story, there's a feeling, when you buy it, there's a feeling that you're before the conscious contact, and now you're the one that's conscious. So in other words, the body is now conscious as if it's on its own engine. Like I'm seeing, I'm feeling, I'm tasting, I'm touching. That's erroneous. It's just simply flat out off. Yeah? So if that's the case, then you're really starting after the conscious contact. And that's an interpretation. That's what it is. You can't get it any other way. How could you see it as anything else? If something is narrating a life and it's being fed back to you, that's an interpretation. You're getting an interpretation of living from self-centeredness, an idea of self-centeredness. That's what's happening.
So it's second-hand stuff. It's second-hand stuff.
Totally, it's second-hand stuff, yes. So if you catch the thief while it's happening, doesn't mean the thievery stops. It will continue. Just like blood circulates, the mental state is going to present you as a body. That's how it organizes. I don't know why. And you're not going to, if you're waiting to try to convince it, that which is source code is you're a body, that it's not a body, you're wasting a lot of fucking time. You might as well just see you're not that which takes itself to be a body. It's much easier, quicker, cleaner, because you're not that which takes itself to be a body. To try to convince that which is taking itself to be the body, it's not a body, is pointless. It's fucking pointless. Yeah? You don't talk to it. You talk to what you are. And in negating it, you find out what you are. You're not going to find out what you are from what you're not. It's when you see what you're not, you find out what you are. And you'll know it in your gut. You don't need a person to tell you if you're onto it. You're your own authority. Yeah. You'll have it in your gut. You'll know. Yeah. And then, as a tree, as they say, a good tree cannot bring bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear, good fruit. You'll know the tree by its fruits. You'll know you're onto something, because maybe doesn't mean everything gets great. It means you have an ability to travel lighter with whatever life has in store for you. Which after years, you just say, hey, man, what more do you want? That's like the greatest gift, because things could be fucking heavy here. So if something skimmed the top off of every possibility, took that edge off, that bias of the elongating the bad or the contracted and then shortening the expansion, and you leveled that where the expansion was more open and available to, yeah? And the contraction lasted less time and it was less contract. What more would you want? So I'm like a mailman. I didn't choose this job. Fuck. I had no idea this was going to happen. I was in recovery. Some lady said, Paul, I think you'd be good at this workshop. And see, the weird thing, I would do something for AA that I wouldn't do for myself. The type of action figure I am is I will respond to a bigger calling better than if it's about me. So because it was about AA, I showed up and did it. Yeah? And in that, we just started talking, and I have the ability to explain things that people know or feel, but they can't articulate. So I can put to words things that people are feeling, and it's easy. I have a hard time, fucking having a checking account. But spiritual concepts are easy. It's simple. And I see patterns. I don't see particulars. I see patterns in things. And the patterns lead to principles. And then the principles lead to something else. So it's nothing I ever got. It was just available. Yeah? So I was put to use in AA. And we got together because, you know what happens? Like Jesus, the story about Jesus, the prophet is never recognized in its own village. So in where I'm from, in recovery, I was caricatured with names like No Self Paul, Buddha Paul, Fourth Step Workshop Paul. I had a lot of names before Paul, and basically, they couldn't get anything from me because they thought they knew me, So we figured we could put on a website. It took us about a year because we was like the gang that couldn't shoot straight. It was all people in recovery, and the only people that knew about the computers were newcomers, and they'd go out and drink. So we never got the website. I swear to God, like 5 or 6 of them, we couldn't even get a website. Finally, one guy in San Jose did it, and then we were sitting around, and they were going, all right, Paul, well, let's make up a name. I go, Zen Bitch Slap. And they go, well, let's think about this. I said, no, I want Zen bitch slap. And then they're going, all right, well, we should put subscriptions. I said, I don't want any subscriptions. Just give it out for free. I know, whatever. And so we opened the website, and then suddenly people from outside recovery got in touch with me, and they asked me to do things and get on internet things, and then I got pigeonholed into non-duality, and then also with recovery, and there we've gone. But the whole point was, first it was weird when I went to a meeting that wasn't addicts and stuff, because I really didn't think you needed any help. I thought you should be fucking happy as hell. So I wasn't motivated to share that much. I'd be sitting there going, what the fuck? And then I realized, Jesus, these people are just as sick in a sense. But it's worse. It's worse because in these meetings, there's no interventions. No one's going to come up to you and go, all right, you've got to leave satsang. No more satsang for you. No, don't buy another DVD. No. People, this system will let you go to retreat after fucking retreat, spend your whole life savings, thousands of things, buy tons of DVDs. There's no community or board that's going to go, no retreats for you after 30 times. Yeah? So I saw an illness here, and it's the exact same illness as addiction, exactly, because the root of it is the same, which is the mental state's obsession with this idea of being a fucking self. That's what's causing the need to relief, and then all the reliefs don't work because that which you need relief from claims to be the one that's getting the relief, and therefore they turn into addictions. Because no matter how much coke I shot, I never reached a point of, I'm satiated. Thank you, Sri Coke. I'm fine. I give all my coke away. I never have to do coke again. I've reached the satori of coke. No. More, faster, on and on like every other addiction, because it's not getting to the point. The point is it's the mental state's addiction with the idea of being a self that's causing the need to get relief, and those are where the other addictions are spawned. Because the relief you get is not enough, because the relief is being claimed by that which you need relief from as the one who's getting the relief. So the solution feeds the problem. As Ramana says very beautifully, if there's the presupposing of the non-existent thing, and then there's a wanting to get salvation for the non-existent thing, your spiritual practices themselves will be reinforcing the non-existent thing. How can they destroy the non-existent thing? Fucking put that shoe on. If it fits, wear it and see where it leads you. These are warnings. You put them on, and to me, when I heard these things, the download took no time, but explained my whole life as an action figure. Completely. Not one behavior escaped the net, really. It was mind-boggling. It was just like, whoot! It was like a template, and everything I thought was so unique and different just got sucked up, and it was like, you've been using the Buddha to seek the Buddha. Yeah, or you've been trying to get out of self as self. Explained everything. Every shot, everything. So,
Could I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering, how would you articulate to a room full of people the first three steps, the powerlessness in the first one, and the surrender, and the second?
Yeah, I know them, yeah. Well, you don't mind, I'll go. He's talking about the first three steps of recovery, and recovery is a way to sort of, actually it says perhaps there is a better way, and it's a way of trusting something infinite rather than finite self, basically. And the 12 steps are a method that produce a possibility of that switcheroo to occur, and then also provides a way of life so that it can be supported, so it doesn't go haywire again. So the first step is, and this is really, when you come in the program, the first step is a reflective step. You're reflecting on how it was when you were using and drinking, and you've come to a conclusion that you're powerless over alcohol and drugs. So, in other words, if it's sort of like dancing with a gorilla, you're going to stop when the gorilla wants to stop, yeah? You don't have much say in the matter. So when I do drugs or alcohol, I'm powerless. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna fucking happen. And won't be able to stop, I won't be able to pull over and stuff like that. So that's the first part of the first step. So I'm powerless over alcohol and drugs. And then my life has become unmanageable. Now, to me, that sounded like cause and effect, yeah? So it was my powerless over alcohol and drugs that made my life unmanageable. So I had this assumption that when I stopped drinking, my life would be great, or would be manageable. But I was sorely mistaken, yeah? And then I realized the real thing is my life is unmanageable because of my trying to manage it. Yes, that was the dilemma. So that's the first step. So that's the one supposedly you need to do 100%, or you're not going to be led to the possibility of the third step. So the second step is it says you came, C-A-M-E, you came to believe that a power greater than self has restored you to sanity. Yeah. Now, the sanity you're restored to, or from the insanity, is the insanity that precedes the first drink. That's what the promise is. Some people think, I'm still fucking insane. It has nothing to do with the insane thing of liking, fucking yellow Volkswagen buses or whatever like that. It's about the insanity that precedes the first drink. That because it's the insanity before the first drink that causes the need for the first drink. Yeah. Once you've had the first drink, you're a goner in a sense. All right, so the second step is a reflective step about what's happened since you started getting sober, which is I started to take the suggestions that I heard at meetings of AA, and I started following them, and I observed that I hadn't drank in 8 weeks, which was the first time ever, so I came to believe that a power greater than myself, through the auspices of AA, was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. It was bringing sanity back to that place of insanity. Yeah, because it's the first drink that gets you drunk, obviously. And in AA, the view of the disease is that it's two-pronged. It's a mental obsession with a physical allergy. So it's like if you have allergic to strawberries, all you need to do is not eat the strawberries. It would seem to be simple, but the mental obsession drives you to want to eat the strawberry. So the solution is in the mental obsession part. That's why they thought it was a spiritual solution, right? So you need the solution. What can cause you not to follow those thoughts that lead you to the fuck it, which causes you to have a drink or do something stupid? Okay? So the second step to me is reflective also. So you've been observing it, it's working. I haven't gone to jail. I haven't drank in 8 weeks. Things are looking up. And they did. This happened with me. So the third step is the main principle of AA, which is to turn one's will and life over to the care of God or a power greater than yourself. They're names, right? But there's a turning of one's will and life over to the care of something other than you, so to speak. To the care of, yeah? And this third one is the main principle. It's like, all right, from this point on, that's going to be the director, I'm going to be the student, or stuff like that. He's going to be the father, I'm his children. This idea of basically following another modality, yeah? So, in the third step, which is the most important concept in AA, it has a statement before you get to it, which is first you got to quit playing God. So, the playing God is in the head, and if you're identified as the one in the head, then even when you try to quit playing God, that's playing God, you see? So the root of the problem, which isn't presented in all AA places, but my take on it is that the root of the problem is an identification as a self. And the obsession with self is used to reinforce the identification, because the identification needs incredible constant reinforcement, because it's like water and oil, trying to bond water and oil, spirit to thing, So that's the third step. Those are the first 3 steps. And then it leads to other things. So, because the third step, you make a decision, because in fact, your life isn't under your control. You've been taken over. And I like to look at alcoholism as a parasite, mental parasite. So you've been taken over. You're more the host that's been taken over, so you can't really surrender your life to anything. It's already been taken by something, the parasite, yeah? So we have to do certain steps to return the opportunity to turn it over to a care of something else, yeah? So that's the steps 4 through 9, which are the working steps. You do shit. You do an inventory, you make amends, and stuff like that. And then the last 3 steps are maintenance of the condition now that's been seemingly, that has come about. So you attempt to keep cleaning your own house, making amends, and then helping other people to achieve sobriety and practice the principles in your affairs, yeah? That's the whole process of the program. And then there's a lifestyle, there's work, tons of meetings, there's opportunities to do service, because service is the easy example of getting out of self, yeah? When you lose interest in yourself by paying attention to others, not family members, but let's say going to a soup kitchen or helping the newcomer, you tend to find that you feel much larger and you feel a lot better. And in that sense of feeling better, you sense a presence of what we deem a higher power, but it's actually us. You're sensing your own presence, really. So, yeah, I've been in it for 30 years. I still have sponsees. I still work with people, but they're older than me in the program. They're old timers, and yeah, it's very good for the action figure, because this action figure has a tendency to veer off the road badly, and take others with it. So I needed, I spent 2 years and 3 months in programs. I really needed to be, my managing life, not me, but that which was the GPS in my life, it's managing my life always led me to having to be managed by others. I had arrested or supervised or put away, because I couldn't live life on life's terms for a week out here. And the weird thing is, when I first started drinking, the first thing I realized was I had magnetic appeal to people in uniform. When I drink, I attract fucking police. Seriously. And it was a real drag, it was like a dog whistle went out, and they just come. And I got run over twice in one night by a car. That can only happen to an alcoholic in a weird way, I got hit. The guy didn't know what he hit, so he backed up over me. This kind of shit starts happening in your life. And then why is this going on? You don't understand. You're rolling things. Yeah? And then you do. That's what AA does, basically. It just starts allowing you to entertain your role in things. Instead of blaming others and looking at everyone else's role, you see your role in things. And anything worth its salt in spirituality just takes it back even farther than that. Like the Course in Miracles says, you're the dreaming of the dreaming. That's a huge role here, yeah? Or you're giving everything all the meaning it has. That's a fucking huge role. But everything is attempting to bring it back right where you are. We don't understand, we never will, like the power of what's here. We never will. It seems to be misused a lot, because the head uses it to make a lot of shit out of nothing. The faith that we demonstrate, if you have faith in the thought system, you're going to live a life full of anxiety. If you listen to the thoughts, you're going to totally believe you're a creature of time, and that you can be attacked and tons of shit can happen to you. And even though you're feeling good now, it will override your own experience by its forecast. That's only based on faith. A power how to do that. Next week cannot ruin your day. It's next week. So, yeah. So that's what happened. Dubbed into this and giving talks and, yeah.
Selling card.
Hmm?
Selling card.
Selling card, yes. It's a sale. It's always on sale. Yeah. A lot of card.
Cardology.
Huh?
Cardology.
The dilemma, what was weird as on a personal level, I thought it was going to be well received in the program. It wasn't really that much, this message. But I'm sticking to it. I am. I don't, like when I was young, again to get personal, when I was young, because I was going off the rails, a lot of adults would come to me and talk to me, about what I should do and this and that. But all the while, I looked at them and I didn't want what they had. Why would I do what they fucking did? I didn't want to fuck. It wasn't attractive at all. They were going off on, oh, you'll be just like me. Exactly. What I don't want is to be anything like you. So I was immune to learning anything because if you don't have the goods, fuck it. Yeah. And to me, this message is that. This isn't like a layaway plan. This allows you to have an ease and comfort now. Yeah.
So does the action figure still need the AA?
I haven't tested it by leaving completely, so I don't know. But does the diabetic still need the insulin if it wakes up? Probably. Yeah. This is the action figure in the brain, alcoholism. I don't know. 30 years has been an interesting ride. But so let's say if you had a talent that affected people, wouldn't you put yourself in the position to be with people? Yeah. I don't know. I see people and they think, I have value. Why not, be there? It makes sense, yeah.
How can you keep the ego?
What?
How can you keep, me being a good person? How can you keep that out of the way in a situation like that? In search, or in...
Well, it's clear to me that I have nothing to do with it. That's why. It's been clear to me since the beginning because I've shared it the other night that in AA I got a chance to speak quite a lot, do a lot of workshops. And man, I was in tons of different physical, emotional, mental, financial situations the days I did those talks. And basically, it wouldn't look like I qualified to be someone who could share this. But to me, it was always like a water in a hose, If the hose is willing to be direct, to direct, the hose water comes through. So it's never been claimed. That's what makes it easy. It doesn't make any sense to have anything to do with it. Yeah?
Yeah, you're not shaming me, no.
Well, I know I have nothing to do with it. Exactly. Yeah. There's a freedom in that. So, yeah. All right. Well, anything else? Feels very good, eh? It's a nice little energy here. Yeah. That's the message, yeah. The message is an echo of what is already ringing inside. And that ringing never stops, never needs to be started. It can be muffled. The attention may not be on it. That doesn't mean it's not there. It's always there. Yeah? And there's an assurance that comes from that. What is the greatest faith but the faith that has no vision, yeah? You never see anything, but you have total faith in it. That's sort of what it's like in a way. Yeah? You find that you have the ability to be convinced, and so that convincing goes a long way. It doesn't get brought up to debate every 3 years and stuff like that. I saw that if we want to spend 5 more minutes, I got struck sober. That's what happened. I got out of a program, 2 years I lived there, living program, hadn't drank while I was in there, used, went to college, did a lot of good things, felt a good sense of belonging, had friends in there, and I graduated from this with flying colors, from this program. And I left that program, and they didn't have a bridge to a way of life. And basically, very quickly, I reverted back to my old way of life. and I found a needle in a park near where I lived. It was bent. I took it home, cleaned it, unbent it, found a cocaine once again after 2 years away, started shooting it, went down the tubes so fast, but now I entered a state that we talk about in recovery, which was a pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization. Because I had spent 2 years, went to college, they had told me in this program, that period, though rather long, was gone. I'm going to be Dr. Jekyll from now on. Mr. Hyde will never make another appearance. And I was hoping they were right, but they weren't, you know. And I went into this little hellish run for 10 months, and I gave up all hope, really. I just did not, you know. So I was really just trying, it seemed like, and this is just a story, you know, but it seemed like I wanted to just stay loaded with the hopes I could get high, you know. So I was drinking. I never really liked drugs, you know, drinking, and then, but I had this persistent problem near the end. I had no money, and I had to try to convince someone else to do what I wanted, and my batting average wasn't good. It was going down precipitously. So I ended up sleeping on roofs of buildings and shit like that, not meeting a woman to go home with, and all like this. So I was fucking super pissed, basically. And I was loaded, and I came to, I went out on St. Patrick's Day, which doesn't mean I wasn't out the night before. It was just like a signpost. Went out March 17th, lost the car I had March 18th. March 19th, I don't know what happened. March 20th, I woke up about 2 hours north of San Francisco in a trailer next to this hang gliding park with a guy I didn't know. I wasn't horizontal with him, vertical. I was sitting there in a chair, and I looked at him, and we were drinking this cheap bottle of vodka, Royal Gate vodka. And I looked at him, and he had a big head, you know, and a big nose with varicose veins all over it. And I said to myself, this guy's a fucking bum, you know? But lo and behold, it seemed like he was looking at me like I was a bum. And something happened. My head stopped, which I didn't think was possible. I mean, the thought stream, the whole thought stream, not selective thoughts, just everything just went like blank. And it was like a portal opened, and it was like this big rush of something. And it was like a CNN news flash, just a headline, no story, and the headline was, "I'm fucked." Yeah. Now, I'd been fucked for quite a while. A lot of people knew I was fucked, but it was news to me, really, because the denial is unbelievable. I've been denying so much shit, my arms are like Arnie Schwarzenegger's. You know, I was keeping a lot of fucking shit up. It all collapsed on me. And I started having different thoughts, and it set off these trains of circumstances that brought me to my first meeting the next day, which I never even thought about AA in all this situation. And from then on, I've been going for 30 years. And what happened was that download, the urge, it was like a radioactive isotope was removed to drink and use. And I've never had a strong feeling or thought to drink or use since. That's a damn good fucking solution. And it was super clear that something had done for me what no human power could do, because my mother wanted me to stop, my friends wanted me to stop, I wanted to stop, the state wanted me to stop. No human power could produce that effect, yet something did. You know? And my life has gone in a new direction after that for 30 years. And the problem does not exist for me day by day, you know, which is a damn good solution concerning alcoholism and addiction. And, you know, it could change tonight, but it hasn't a long, long time. And, yeah, I didn't just, something like that happening in one's life does not, that really promotes a lot of entertaining. My mind just went, what does that imply? What is that something that could do for this what it couldn't do for itself? And, you know, in a lot of ways I was provided that answer, you know, by demonstrations. And then it led me to here, to non-duality and all like that, you know. So, yeah. And really my simple drive here is just inviting you to instead of, because I believe our looking is off. The looking is what blinds us to what's seen. The way we're looking blinds us to what's seen. So if you could question the allegiance to the system of looking by seeing you're not the center of it, which is self, you may quickly find out by seeing anew that things look a whole lot different. Yeah? And that maybe it'll fit you better, the guidance that comes from that, than the guidance you've been following for 20, 30 years. And for an addict, it's easy. It's so obvious that it's a failed system, that any life run on self-will is not going to be successful. But to others, it may not be so obvious. But the possibility of not leaving the system, but by realizing you're not the center of the system, that gives you the possibility of another way of life, which fits, works better. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. So.
I was drinking for a long time until the mid-80s. It just dawned on me that it was really, I realised that I feel I did it, that I came out of it, that I've given reasons why I stopped.
Yeah.
Rather than that it was something else that did it.
Yeah, yeah. Something, it's like there's a ride in Disney World, yeah, Disneyland, where you jump on this boat and then you drive and you go through these river little things, and then if you go the wrong one, a big hippo comes out or a crocodile. And you should be suspicious because when you get on the boat, there's 12 steering wheels. But everyone gets on and they think they're the one, oh, I saved us from the hippo, or I did this. But it's run by a computer. It's like a big thing on the bottom and it's going here. But the narration is like, I got all to do with it. It's sort of like that here. Yeah? So, yeah, that's that, I think, eh? Yeah, all right? Full, yes? All right. Well, hey, thank you so much, and Yuha, and all the people, and all the guys that take care of me. It's based on these guys, Neil and Colm and Adrian and everyone, and you and everyone that sets this up. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Yeah? So let's give them a hand. Yep. Adrian.